Are you there, algorithm Jesus? It's me, Michael. If you can hear me, the title of this episode is
All-time film ranking greatest, best movie, Pokemon, Fortnite, Spider-Man, Elsa, makeup, tutorial, crisis actors, Fave Five film movies, Mikey Tournament Tier List. I just spruce it up so people actually see this video show up in their subscriptions. Film joints gotta eat, everybody. Like and subscribe. Some people need to be told that, I guess. I don't, man. Oh.
I wanted to do something that challenged me as a film writer. How do movies hold up over time to us, to the world? I've been making Fave Five episodes for over 7 years now. The thought occurred to us, what if we took all those selections and pitted them against each other in a tournament where a winner must be chosen? Just have some fun because the world's ending and the job I apparently chose was, video essayist. But hey, somebody's gotta play the ship down into the water. Jesus Christ. Part 1 will be the west side of the bracket, Part 2 will be the east side of the bracket, Part 3 will be the playoffs. This will be 3 weeks in a row. Some of the matchups are frighteningly thematic and some are, I'll just show you in a second. We ran this as if it was a real 32-team basketball tournament and the seeds were assigned based on American box office. Ultimately, the winner of any matchup is decided on what the piece brought to cinema and how it affected filmmaking as a whole. I'll show my work here, but there are, of course, 2 anomalies. Let's call them wildcards. We only included 2 selections from 2020, Palm Springs and Ted Lasso, mostly because I thought it would be funny. I thought making Ted Lasso a wildcard in a tournament was humorous. I thought it would spice it up. I didn't even stop to think about what the top seeded movie in this tournament even was. To be blunt, I think there are a multitude of reasons that Force Awakens doesn't hold up so hot over time, and yeah, one of them is Fortnite. How could I possibly pick Force Awakens here? Is there a support group for people who talked about Star Wars on the internet? Can I start one? At the end of the day, in the year of our Glorb 2021, I think Ted Lasso brought more joy to the world and inarguably less vitriol. Ted Lasso was this breath of fresh air in the second half of 2020 where it felt like the oxygen was starting to leave the room. And honestly, it was at a time where Star Wars was starting to suck the oxygen out of the room. In an upset against the number 1 seed, the winner of the first fight is Ted Lasso. Sure, yeah, this one's a TV show and not a movie, but the hell if 2021 doesn't need a wild card about a group of people that actually enjoy helping each other to, get better? First fight goes to Ted Lasso by knockout. Okay, this one seems like a mite simpler decision. I have a soft spot for In Bruges. I think Martin McDonagh is a vital voice in modern cinema. I don't think it will come as much of a surprise to say that 3 Billboards didn't appear to absorb into the zeitgeist much. I know some people found it an understandably challenging movie, to put it mildly. Having said that, who could choose anything other than the earth-moving precision with which Bong Joon-ho made his capitalism-critical masterpiece Parasite? Just in a whole world by himself. There's a precision to the performances, and there's this way that the camera always seems to match that intensity. Parasite is a film where the exactness of its presentation is one of the things creating the tension. Bong Joon-ho comes out of fight number 2 on top. If you haven't checked out Parasite yet, I don't think I could recommend it any more highly. Parasite wins by technical knockout in the second round.
In this corner, fighting in disturbingly featureless white clothes, the frank meditation on the emotional effects of trauma and gaslighting, Midsummer! And they are facing off against the full-throated love letter to Dame Four First Names Agatha Mary Clarissa Christie!
Knives Out. Somehow this is already the most potent film exercise I've done. You actually have to resonate with the film on its own terms. Knives Out and Midsummer are films both equally about cruelty and the protective concealment of it. Let me rephrase. Most of the characters in both movies do their damnedest to set the narrative around them.
It's sort of a crazy festival. Special ceremonies and dressing up.
Bus killed him. One of his family killed him. Is that what you're suggesting, Lieutenant?
Both are shot with an eye for detail, keeping the viewer searching the frame for any way out of this helpless feeling. One's funny though. The other one has a bear guy. To choose a winner here, I think you have to look at their contributions to modern cinema beyond story and narrative, because they both tell their stories extremely effectively. Both films were shot on digital, though one film went out of its way to emulate the comfort imperfections of film. Gate weave and all that. And not that the performances in Midsummer were anything other than powerhouses, but it seems almost criminal to put any cast up against the cast of Knives Out. It is an embarrassment of riches. Hashtag Jamie Lee Curtis doesn't have an Oscar. Hashtag yes, it's a crime. Here we had two thrillers where the deciding factor was really what they brought to the art form beyond their expression. Knives Out comes out ahead in round 3 of the prelims, largely on the earth-moving work of Steve Yedlin. But that's why filmmaking is a team sport. Knives Out takes it home in the waning seconds of the 11th round. The referee had to stop the fight. See, algorithm man. I'm using the boxing metaphor to create nuance and emotional investment with an audience that will engender interaction. Alex Garland versus David Fincher, the stellar writer versus the most precise visual filmmaker on the market. Gone Girl is a great and enjoyable little corker that reveals some heinous truths about the human condition. Also, Ben Affleck is fantastic in it. No hyperbs, real truth. I think if you've watched my show before, you probably have a good inkling that Ex Machina might come out on top here, because answering questions about the human struggle through the filmic metaphor of creating artificial intelligence and discussing what rights a sentient being has is extremely my speed. I mean, Ex Machina asks the tough questions that will become more relevant as we enter our future. You can't make things think and not give them rights. I know, total brain tornado, bro. Alex Garland is exceptionally good at setting up rent-free in my brain after he makes something. I thought about Ex Machina months after I saw it. Gone Girl didn't really stick to my soul in quite the same way. Also, Ava is a special effects marvel, so there it is. Ex Machina by knockout in the 6th round. And Oscar Isaac is in the front row dancing. This is the fight for the ages. Taika Waititi versus tiny Lego people.
That's pay-per-view shit.
This matchup is hard because both were breakout movies for both of its filmmakers. I think difficulty increases when the filmmaker is Taika Waititi and his follow-up to this is going to rewrite the rules on what a big-budget studio tentpole can be. They're both films I greatly enjoy watching. I've rewatched both movies a huge number of times. Comparing the filmmaking paths between Lord and Miller and Taika Waititi is a pretty tough brain smoothie, because you see how fast both of these separate movie-making titans took over Hollywood in entirely different ways. So forget all that and let's just jump into the weeds for a moment, because there is no time of day where I am not in the mood to watch both of these movies. They both make me feel stuff and shit. On its most heartfelt level, the Lego Movie is an homage to the old Lego stop-motion videos of yore.
Shout out Brick Films.
It's like the wildest and most expensive version of that original idea, obviously made in CG.
Oh my gosh! Pow! Wham!
And it's a super stylistic reimagining of a stop-motion art form from the early days of the internet. Lego Movies kind of blew up as a brand 'cause like Ninjago or whatever, but the Lego Movie was a movie that spoke directly against nostalgia, breaking a dude's brain to the point that he won't let his own son experience joy. The Lego Movie. Winner by Friendship in the 12th round. Roger Deakins versus Bradford Young. Though hilariously, I guess it's Denis Villeneuve versus Denis Villeneuve. I guess Roger Deakins is the undercard, maybe? The metaphor is kind of getting away from me a little bit now. This is two gorgeous celebrations of the cinematic medium. The sound design and photography in Sicario is pound for pound the biggest bang for your buck in the industry. If you upgrade your home theater, might I suggest you demo this movie to your friends? It's the most gorgeous, ugly movie you'll ever see. However, you already know what I'm gonna say before I say it. Arrival is one of the best films ever made, full stop. It exists entirely in its own space and follows entirely its own rules. Arrival is about the disconnected nature of human emotion, how the circumstances that surround us give us alternate perspective. You know, in the face of alien invasion. Arrival to this day is one of the most profound pieces of filmmaking I've ever seen. Amy Adams deserves a makeup oopsie Oscar. Arrival wins by temporally unclear knockout in the 12th and somehow also first rounds. Two pseudo-biographical stories from two entirely different time periods are about to go to the ring and talk a lot. Let's talk about The Big Sick real quick. The script from Mary Powerhouse's Kumail Nanjiani and Emily V. Gordon, and directed by one Michael Showalter. It was immensely touching and extremely funny in refreshingly creative yet disarmingly honest ways.
And a girl, I only have sex once on the first date. I'm just gonna call an Uber.
Your driver will be ready as soon as he puts on his pants.
And at the same time, I also absolutely adored Greta Gerwig's fresh take on Little Women. I love the script, I love the performances, and I love the way it reframed a classic story in a way that enlightened other things about that story and that time period. It's infectiously clever. And I'm, to use the parlance of the film industry, killing a darling on this one. I hope we see a renaissance of people thinking about how to adapt classic literature in new and brilliant ways. But I have to go with my heart here. The Big Sick wins by decisive knockout in the 10th round. Though, however, the judging results were called into question and the results are under internal investigation by the Overzealous Boxing Metaphor Association. And tonight's main event, mostly because it's at the bottom of the bracket, it's the 28th seed versus the 5th seed. Stop attacking my sports metaphor! Where do you even start with the final matchup of today? Bo Burnham's directorial debut against Edgar Wright's 5th major studio film. I'm curious to see over time where Baby Driver ends up in the conversation in the long run. I was mildly disappointed with how that film was received originally, and by that I mean people talking about what they didn't like in the film without engaging with the film's extremely blatant messaging on disability. Also, it was the maiden voyage of Darkwing Ducking people, so Baby Driver will live in my heart forever. I think 8th Grade is a fantastic debut from Burnham. After Inside, I hope he never stops making movies. He's an exceptional talent. 8th Grade makes you feel that desperation again. From the music, to the writing, to the performances, to the editing. It is a confident, small story played entirely genuine.
Yeah.
I concurrently think Baby Driver is a wild filmmaking swing that is somehow both a riveting car movie yet somehow also a cute little musical about feeling Twitter-pated all the time. Timeless by design at almost every level. These films traded blows all the way to the end. This fight went to the judges, but Baby Driver managed to come out ahead. Both are absolutely worth a second look, but to the surprise of absolutely no one, I'm going with Baby Driver and Edgar Wright here. I had a profound experience with it. I know not everyone had that same experience. It's about more than it might appear on the surface, but outside of that, it's just a hell of a ride. We haven't been home since February, and honestly, I can't believe FilmJoy managed to make any content this year, so hey, why not support the channel and check out our store, catawampas.inc. Okay, to wrap up. Thanks for watching the episode until the end. That's it for part 1, ending with Ted Lasso, Parasite, Knives Out, Ex Machina, the Lego Movie, Arrival, The Big Sick, and Baby Driver. Advancing to the quarterfinals in the West. Come back same time next week to see who takes it down in the East end of the bracket. Also, the matchups are about to get very weird. Or more weird. You know what? I'll see you in a week.